हाय फ्रेंड्स, आई एम सिद्धार्थ। आज मैं आपके लिए गवर्नमेंट मॉडल स्कूल चंडीगढ़ का लास्ट ईयर का पेपर 11th क्लास के लिए लेकर आया हूँ। आई होप आपको ये पेपर देखकर काफ़ी फ़ायदा होगा, बिकॉज हर साल मैं देखता हूँ पेपर का पैटर्न और क्वेश्चंस काफ़ी सिमिलर रहते हैं। अगर आप इसे प्रॉपरली सॉल्व कर लेते हैं तो आप पेपर को बहुत आसानी से कर पाओगे, इस साल के पेपर को भी। और हाँ, लास्ट एंड में, वीडियो के एंड में मैंने एक मॉडल पेपर डाला है जिसमें मैंने देखा है कि 50% क्वेश्चन हर साल 11th में रिपीट होते हैं, चाहे वो प्राइवेट स्कूल्स हो चाहे वो गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स हो। तो आपको वो मॉडल पेपर अगर सॉल्व कर लेंगे तो काफी बेनिफिट होगा, राइट। तो वो लास्ट में आप फर्दर ट्राई कर सकते हो, दैट विल हेल्प यू एक्चुअली वेरी मच, राइट। So I'll recommend आप पहले सारा क्वेश्चन पेपर अच्छे से पढ़ लीजिए, उसके बाद you can see the solutions, right? Now let's see question number 1. VT ग्राफ आपको ड्रॉ करना है, एक ऑब्जेक्ट जो आपने ऊपर फेंकी है, and finally it will return back. So it is under constant acceleration. The velocity time graph will be a straight line, right? So you have to draw VT graph like this. So here we can assume the upward direction is positive. You can show this and you can start the graph from here, right? It goes like this, VT graph, proportional to time. Velocity becomes 0 at this point, and now after that the ball will change its direction. So what it means, if it changes its direction, I'll consider this velocity as negative. So I'll continue with this line going downwards. So approximately the graph will be like this. 1 to 5, as you know that it's only 1 mark question, you just have to show these things. Good enough. See the question number 2. There are two spheres of same mass, same diameter. One is solid, another is hollow. Find the moment of inertia about its diameter. I hope this is a simple question based upon moment of inertia, so you should know. Moment of inertia of a solid sphere is 2 by 5 mr square. And hollow sphere is 2 by 3 mr square, right? About its diameter, that means passing through its center of mass like this. So simply, it's a simple question, right? Look up to the question number 3. There's a small trick in that. I hope you can see that. Young's modulus पूछा गया कि अगर लेंथ बदल दे, रेडियस बदल दे, तो यंग्स मॉडुलस पे क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? यंग्स मॉडुलस इज अ प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ मटेरियल, इट डज नॉट चेंज विद लेंथ एंड रेडियस, राइट? सो यू विल सिंपली राइट इट विल नॉट चेंज बिकॉज इट्स अ प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ मटेरियल, राइट? सो लेट्स लुक अप टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. सिंपल पेंडुलम इज ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम अर्थ टू द मून. So simple thing is, on moon the gravity becomes g by 6. I hope we know the formula, 2 pi under root of L by g. So here time period is this, on earth time period is this, and on moon it will become g by 6. That has the new time period will be given by this. How it will be affected? You can see that the new time period will be root 6 times the original time period on earth, right? The g by 6 you can take it as, right? Look up to question number 5. Which one is greater, light year, parsec or astronomical unit? I think you should look up to these values. Astronomical unit means 1.5 10 by 11 meters. Actually this is the distance between earth and sun, right? Light year, distance traveled by light in 1 year, nearly this one. And parsec is 3.0 in 10 by 60 meters. Obviously this one is greater, right? And you know that 1 parsec means something like, if you have a distance of 1 astronomical unit, if angle subtended is 1 arc second, then this distance is called 1 parsec. Anyhow, this one is greater, right? Now we see question number 6. Question based upon simple harmonic motion. acceleration and displacement relationship is given to you, what will be the time period of this particle? As we know, question number 6 to 10 it's of 2 marks. तो आप इसमें पूरे फॉर्मूला शो कीजिए and you can tell कि फॉर्मूला में A stands for acceleration, X stands for displacement, उसको आप explain भी कर सकते हैं. So in this question, as you know that acceleration is equal to minus omega square x. It's the basic formula. So from here we get this. Find the time period. So hence omega will get this one as whatever it is given as under root of p by q, which is given as 2 pi by t. The time period comes out to be this one. But you must tell this in this one. A stands for acceleration, omega stands for angular frequency, t stands for time period. You must write up these 3 things, right? Explain every variable you are using, right? Nothing else. Now we see the next question. Question number 7. We have options for that. Anyhow, we'll look up both questions. Okay, it's a question based upon dimension analysis. Frequency of an oscillating drop depends upon the radius. Frequency depends upon radius. It depends upon density, and it depends upon surface tension. So you write up this one. Establish the expression for that. I hope you know this one. Frequency is inverse of time period. So I can call this one as t minus 1 proportional to radius is length raised to power a, density is mass per unit volume p, and surface tension is force by length. I hope I can find this one. Force is mass into acceleration by length. So it is mt minus 2 raised to power c. I hope everybody knows how to solve this one. So here you can write as m0 l0. You can make the equations. Correct this one as it is m raised to power b, m raised to power c, l raised to power a minus 3b, and t raised to power, no t here, t raised to power minus 2c. So if you compare this one, you get equations b plus c is equal to 0. It has again a minus 3b is equal to 0, and finally minus 2c is equal to minus 1. I hope you can solve these equations and get the approximately formula. Okay, let's see the second option. It's a question based upon errors. Asked is find the percentage error. You just have to be a square b cube upon c root t, right? Percentage error in x, we have to find out delta x upon x is equal to 2 delta a by a plus 3 delta b by b plus c raised to power 1, so I can call it as 1 delta c upon c, d raised to power half plus half delta d by d, right? So if you multiply it by 100, I hope you'll get the percentage errors. So we just write up as 2 into 4%, it has 2 into 4 plus 3 into 2 plus 1 into 3 plus half into 1. That much percentage, right? Into 100. So I hope you can find out the percentage, right? Let's see the question number 8. State work energy theorem and prove it for variable forces. Work energy theorem, you have to write the definition properly. The work energy theorem simply says work done by all the forces is equal to change in kinetic energy. Work done by all forces means net forces is equal to change in kinetic energy. Explain this, and that is equal to change in kinetic energy of the body. Prove it for variable forces. The derivation we can use as the kinetic energy is given by half mv square. It's a CBSE based derivation only. I'm doing dk by dt is equal to half m to v dv by dt, which comes out to be mv acceleration. Now this one can be said mass into acceleration can be taken as force into velocity can be written as ds by dt, and finally I hope you can write dk is equal to fds, which by definition is the definition of work, small work. And if we integrate both sides, we get that work is equal to integrate this one from initial to final, that is delta. Right? Please explain. K stands for kinetic energy, and V stands for velocity, M stands for mass, A stands for acceleration. Keep on explaining these things along with that, right? Deduce an expression for work done by an ideal gas in an isothermal expansion. Isothermal expansion, work done, we have to find out, right? It's a question from heat and thermodynamics. Isothermal, we know that temperature is constant, so change in internal energy is 0. So work done, we can find out as, by the definition, as PdV, integrating both sides, put on the value of pressure, PV is equal to nRT. So can we put pressure as nRT upon V dV integral, right? Now integrated from V1 to V2. Constants are to be taken outside from V1 to V2, nRT log V2 by V1. Simple, right? In this question we have to define Avogadro's law. Under same physical conditions of temperature and pressure, equal volumes of all gases contain equal number of moles. Right? We have to write this definition, simple definition of Avogadro's law, and then establish it from kinetic theory of gases. That we have to make certain arrangements. That is, kinetic theory of gases says 3 by 2 PV is equal to half mc square. So pressure is equal to half mc square, right? If we cancel out this half, we get this particular one as 1 by 3 V, right? Now this can be written as 1 by 3 N1 M1 C square by V, and for the second gas this can be written as 1 by 3 N2 M2 C square upon V. Here mass stands for number of molecules into mass of each molecule, right? Similarly for the second gas, as the pressure is same, these two can be equated, but one thing is sure, as the temperature is also same, so kinetic energy of the first gas will be equal to kinetic energy of the second gas molecule. So if you compare this particular one, this two will be equal, you get N1 equal to N2. If they have same kinetic energy under same temperature, N1 will be equal to N2. Now we see question number 11. Mind it, from 11 to 22, 12 questions are of 3 marks. So wherever a diagram is required, you must make the diagram, or wherever formulas are required, you must show the formulas, and where definition is required, you should also write the definition, right? 3 things you must do, right? If diagram is required, definition and formula, all 3. Now first thing is, define the term impulse. First thing is, you have to write the definition. If a force is applied on a body for a certain time, it will result the change in momentum of the body, and that effect is called impulse. Now give its SI units, you have to show the formula to show its SI units. The impulse, you will call it as, from Newton's law, force equal to dp by dt. Also state and prove impulse momentum theorem, right? So impulse, as you know that, if it is given by symbol J, it is equal to F dt or dp. So you can call it as force into time. The SI units will be taken as force into time. Now, or you can call it as change in momentum. The force Newton, time is seconds. Impulse momentum theorem, you can again use this basics. So you start from here, you can say it as integrating both sides. Write up again, integrating both sides. So this is called impulse, the effect of force, that is called impulse from P1 to P2, that is equal to delta P, and this impulse will be given by change in momentum, right? Fine, that is all. So we see question number 12. M mass को M mass strike करते हैं. Asked is find the fraction of initial kinetic energy of mass M transferred to the struck body, जिसको struck किया है. So that means कितनी energy इसको transfer हुई. So if we take up as small m, capital M से strike करता है, and after that capital M moves with velocity v2, this moves with velocity v1. What is asked is half m v2 square divided by initial kinetic energy half m v square. ये पूछा होगा, right? You have to solve this one. Let's start with conservation of momentum first. mv plus 0 is equal to mv1 plus mv2. First one, and the second one is definition of E, v2 minus v1 upon v is equal to 1 because it's an elastic fluid. So I'll write up this one as v2 minus v1 is equal to v, multiplying with m Why I'm multiplying with m? So that I can cancel out v1. I need v2 in terms of v. Okay. So adding these two equations, I get this one as 2mv is equal to m plus m into v2. Right. So I hope I can put on the value of v2 here. Solving this, you will get the result. Right. Question number 13. State and explain Kepler's law of planetary motion. I hope this is the most basic question. You can explain all the three laws. First law said all the planets move in elliptical orbits around the sun, and then second law says the area swept per unit time is constant, and third law is we have to prove this law here. T square is proportional to r cube. The time period square is proportional to r cube. Right? Easy one.
I took guidance of physics from SIDDHARTH sir, Physics classes. He has a great ability to explain the complicated concepts in a very simplified manner. Thank you sir for helping me in cracking IIT JEE.
In question number 14, state equipartition law of energy. You just have to explain this law. What this law says: the whole energy in a gas is equally distributed among all the degree of freedom of the gas equally. You have to write this definition and also tell the degree of freedom of a diatomic gas. I hope you know the degree of freedom of a diatomic gas. It is 3 for translation motion and 2 for rotational motion. It is 3 plus 2, it is 5. Right? You have to mention the Maxwell law, and also you can prove it a bit. Degree of freedom is given by F by 2 nRT, right? And this whole energy is divided among all degree of freedom, right? You can write up this expression as well. Question number 15. Find the depth from the surface of Earth at which the weight of the body of mass m will be reduced by 36% of its weight. Mind it, in this one, you just have to use the result that the effective value of gravity is at the depth is given by this one. So at what depth? Asked us what is the value of d at which g will become 36% of its value on the surface of Earth. So when g dash will become 36% of original value, right? So I hope you can solve it very easily. The simple question based on numerical part of numerical, right? So d is asked, g dash formula you have to write and then put on the values and you get the value of depth. Right? Number 16, you have to write the equation of trajectory first here, find the range and the maximum height, right? It's a simple one. Mind it, I'm not writing what y stands for, what a stands for. You have to write up this stands for position, this stands for acceleration. Like you have to make the diagram for a projectile, right? Like this, u at an angle theta. This is horizontal velocity and this one is vertical velocity. Here stand for u cos theta and here stand for u sin theta. Right? Then you start your question as find the horizontal range. You have to find this one. Find the maximum height. You have to find this one, right? And this one is stand for range. Also find the equation of trajectory. So I hope these are the basic derivations. I just give you a hint for that, right? For vertical, you have to write y is equal to u by t minus half gt square. Horizontal displacement will be given as ux into t. Eliminate time, you will get the equation of trajectory, right? And for horizontal range, this one, you know that horizontal range is given by horizontal velocity into time period. So you have to put on the value of time period here. Horizontal velocity as u cos theta and time period as 2u sin theta upon g. You get the value of range and the maximum height. Maximum height simply stands. Maximum height we will just put when the vertical velocity becomes 0. So vertical velocity के लिए you can use the formula v is equal to u plus at, right? Or you can use the formula v square minus u square is equal to 2s. Two options, whatever you like, right? So when the vertical velocity will become 0, this will become 0. We will get the height as maximum height. Right? Simple questions. I hope you can find it from these basics. So in question number 17, I've already made the diagram. What is capillarity? You have to write the definition of that. It is the way by which the liquid rises in a very narrow tube or falls in a very narrow tube. That action is called capillary action. Now, if we derive the expression, you have to make this diagram first. Look up this one. The surface is concave upwards. Here pressure is P0. This is the radius of curvature of the meniscus. This is the radius of the capillary tube. This is the contact angle. Right? You have to write up everything here. From the base, it is to a height h. So if here is pressure P0, the pressure on this side is less by an amount of P0 minus 2s by r. So from this point to this point, again here the pressure has to become P0. So we'll make the equation between these two as pressure P0 minus 2s by r. If we add rho gh, it will become equal to P0. So h will be given by this value. Now we find the relation between small and capital as base by hypotenuse is equal to cos theta. So we can also write as 2s upon rho g. In terms of small r, we can write up as small r by cos theta. Right? So this is the final expression. Okay? This is what you have to prove. Okay. In question number 18, find the unit vector which is perpendicular to A and B. Firstly, we have to find the vector which is perpendicular to A and B. We have to take the cross product of A and B. If we take the cross product of A and B, we'll get this result. I hope you know how to take the cross product, either by determinant method or by simple multiplication. Right? So once you take the cross product, you get the final vector as this one. Now how to take the unit vector out of this? Divide by its magnitude. So how it is? 3 square plus 3 square plus 2 square under root. So this is the unit vector in this direction. Right? In question number 19, we have two masses A and B placed on a smooth surface. A force is applied on A, suppose. Asked is find the tension in all cases. I'll do in one case. Suppose it is applied on 10 kgs. See that 600 newtons is the force applied on total mass 30 kgs. So acceleration will be given as 600 divided by 30. Right? So it will be 2 meter per second square. Now if we make the ability for this, the tension will be equal to 20 A. That will be given as 40 newtons. Right? It's very simple question, right? Derive the equation of the motion for these two cases with the help of calculus. You just have to use acceleration is equal to dv by dt, and in the second case you have to use the definition of velocity as ds by dt. Right? So integrating this, you can get the values for both. Right? dv is equal to a dt, integrating both sides from u to v, time from 0 to t, you'll get the first one here, and the second one you'll write ds is equal to v dt. Please put on the value of v, u plus at dt. I hope integrating this one we get the value second one. Right? You just have to write these two definitions in the 2 steps. You'll reach to the end. In question number 21, it's a question of SHM. Asked is find the displacement when the velocity will become half. You can find it by many ways. I just tell you one. Suppose I'll take as v is equal to omega under root of a square minus x square. This is the velocity at displacement x. Right? I say that when the max velocity become half of its maximum value, the maximum velocity is given as omega a, so half will be given as omega a by 2. So I'll put that velocity become half when it become omega a by 2. So if you put when the velocity will become half of the maximum value, you'll get the value of x. Right? What is the velocity at displacement a by 2? Put x equal to a by 2, you get the velocity at a by 2. Right? It's simple. Using this formula, you can solve both the parts. In question number 22, Carnot engine पर based है. Temperature of source and sink are given to you, and energy consumed is also given to you. Right? You just have to use the formula. It is kind of a numerical. You can say it as efficiency of Carnot engine is given as 1 minus Q2 by Q1, or also given as 1 minus T2 by T1. So see that T2, temperature of sink, is given to you. temperature of source is given to you, you can find the efficiency, right? This is the first question which is asked. Also asked is find the heat work done by the engine. So mind it, this is also given as W by Q1. Efficiency is also given by this one. Heat absorbed by engine is given to you. I'll write up again, right? This already we know. This already we know. We can find the work done. Simple question, right? Now we see the second option. In this question, it is gas is suddenly compressed. If it is suddenly compressed, mind it, the process is adiabatic. You have to write the relation between temperature and volume. You just have to use this one. T1 V1 raised to power gamma minus 1. T2 V2 raised to power gamma minus 1. So initial temperature 17 degrees centigrade. Put that in kelvins. 290 kelvins. Initial volume by final volume raised to power gamma minus 1 is equal to T2. Final volume is 1/8 of the initial volume, right? So put down that 290. 1/8 means 8. Gamma minus 1 for diatomic gas, it is 5 by 3 minus 1, it is 2 by 3. I hope you can solve this one. This is very simple. So this comes out to be, this result will give you to be 4. Final temperature will be this one. Now we see question number 23. It's a simple question based upon 1 point. एक बच्चा रेत पे छलांग मारता है और एक बच्चा कंक्रीट पे छलांग मारता है. What is the difference? अगर cemented floor पे छलांग लगाई जाती है, the impact is hard because you know that in this particular case force into delta t is equal to change in momentum. दोनों boys जब jump मारते हैं ground पर, तो mind it, both will come to rest, but one will take longer time. One who is jumping on a sand and one who is jumping on a cemented floor, it will stop by instantaneous, right? The time will be very small. So mind it, the impact will be large. Force will be given by delta P by delta T. So average force will be large if time is small, that is in case of cemented floor, and if time is large, the average force will be small. So you can explain that on this basis, why A get injured, you can explain this particular things, right? All that. Now we see question number 24. You have to find the derivation of terminal velocity, right? You just have to make this sure a ball is falling downwards, everybody is mg downwards, point force upwards, and 6 pi downwards. When all the three things are balanced, you can drive the formula for terminal velocity, right? Second one is two equal drops of water falling through air with a velocity v. If the drop collapses, what will be the new terminal velocity? Using this formula, you can find out this one, right? This is the formula for terminal velocity. If two drops collapse to make a bigger drop, what will happen is 2 times the volume of each drop is equal to the volume of the bigger drop, right? Assume capital R is the radius for this, small r the radius for both. The new radius we can found as 2 raised to power 1 by 3 of. So what you have to do is you have to put the new radius here as 2 1 by 3 here. The new terminal velocity will increase obviously from r to 2 1 by 3 r, right? And now we see state and prove Bernoulli's theorem. Right, it's 2 limitations. I think you can prove the Bernoulli's theorem, you can write the principle for that, you can make the diagram and show it. After this, write its 2 limitations. Bernoulli's equation is applicable only for ideal liquids, also for a streamlined flow. For ideal liquids, you can also say the liquid must be non-viscous, incompressible. So these are the limitations, right? Generally all liquids are viscous. See question number 25. Drive an expression for kinetic energy and potential energy of a simple harmonic motion. You have to use your equations for this. Basic equation is x equal to a sine omega t plus theta, right? V is equal to a omega cos omega t plus theta. So if you write expression for kinetic energy as half mv square, will be given as half m v square as a square omega square cos square omega t plus theta. And for potential energy, it is half k x square will be given as half k a square sine square omega t plus theta. And you can also say that omega is equal to under root of k by m Now show that total energy is conserved. Now you can do one thing in as omega, put omega is equal to under root of k by m here. Using this, you can also write up this form as half k as omega square m a square sine square omega t plus theta. So why energy is conserved? If you add these two, it is, this one is common, sine square theta plus cos square theta, this term comes out to equal to 1. Total energy will be conserved. Now second part for this one is equation of simple harmonic motion is given. Asked is find the displacement, frequency and initial phase. I need not to tell you that this value stands for amplitude, this value stands for angular frequency, this stands for initial phase. So omega stands for 2 pi by t or 2 pi f. You can find out all the terms from there. Now if we see the second part of it, question from waves, write Newton's formula for the speed of sound in air. What was wrong with this formula? You have to tell all that. Laplace corrections to be done. Newton assumed sound travels in isothermal conditions. Laplace corrected it. It travels in adiabatic conditions, and he proved all that. So possibly you have to start from here, b by rho, and you have to reach to b is equal to gamma b by rho. Laplace and Newton was proving it to be as p by rho. Right? Here to here, then to here. Proof means आपको bulk modulus को prove करना है. Why it is equal to p in one case, why it is equal to gamma p in adiabatic case. Right? That's all for 5 marks. Right? So we see question number 26, the last question. State the theorem of parallel axis. I hope you can state the theorem as the moment of inertia about any point p is equal to moment of inertia about center of mass plus mh square. Right? Now you have to mention here it as if this is the center of mass and we have to find it at distance of h. The axis is passing through this point p. The two axes must be parallel to each other. One which is passing through center of mass and the second which is passing through p. Then we can use this theorem. Right? Then it says find out the moment of inertia about the diameter, one through this, and about the tangent, one through this. I hope you can do that. About this one it is half mr square. About this one it is 1 by 4 mr square. And now if this one is 1 by 4 mr square, you can apply parallel axis theorem to this point as well. Right? That I leave to you. In the last question, we have this diagram. We have 4 spheres that makes a square, and we have to find the center of mass of the system. I hope you can do it by symmetry, right? Right? Its center of mass is here, its center of mass is here, the center of mass is here, center of mass is here. So this center of mass must lie at the center in between here. By symmetry, it's very simple. Just a diagram and you can solve it. So friends, I hope you have enjoyed the video. और इससे आपको काफी कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा कि इस तरह का पेपर पूछा जाता है. एंड इट इज नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट. राइट? बेसिक्स कर लीजिए तो अच्छे से आप एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हो अपने आप को. राइट? सो इसके बाद जो मैंने पेपर आपको दिखाया वो जरूर देख लेना, क्योंकि उसमें 50% क्वेश्चंस नियरली बार बार रिपीट होते हैं हर साल. फाइन, वो जरूर कर लीजिएगा. एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच एंड ऑल द बेस्ट.